Pounders, we are live for a surprise stream. Wasn't planned, and sometimes that's what you need in life. You need a little bit of spontaneousness just to ease yourself. So today we're going to be jumping into a Best Ball Mania 4 draft, but before we do, 24-hour live stream. If we hit 1,000 subs before NFL kickoff, we're on pace, kind of scary, but I think it'd be pretty fun to get that done. And then we all should jump into the Discord. Link is in the description. Link is in the comment section. Free Best Ball Mania 4 draft guide in the cheat sheet section. Wild. Not going to be free next year. Free this year. We're going to be updating it again in a few weeks when practices will start. So that's exciting there. TC Cannon, what's going on? Ben with the wrench. Nick, what's up? Drew, welcome to the live stream. Before we kick it off, I do want to pull up something that I think is kind of interesting. Hayden Winks dropped his rankings today. So let's pull these up real quick and see where we agree and where we disagree, because I think we have some spicy takes in here, and I like that. I'm completely fine with some spicy takes, and I think you need some spicy takes in your life, but some I don't agree with, and that's completely fine. JJ, Chase, Cup. I'm on board. I'm on board with those three, and then you got CMC, and then you got Eckler. I understand the Eckler pull. We've been trying to pull him up the board, not this high. I think I have a couple of receivers in front of him personally in my own rankings, but he was the number one point scorer as a flex last year, like over wide receivers, over running backs, over tight end. Obviously, he was number one overall last season. So to have him in the spot sort of makes sense to me. AJ Brown, then Tyreek Hill. I'm not worried about a Tyreek Hill suspension personally, and I don't think he is either because he has him ranked so high, but I am going to have Tyreek Hill ahead of AJ Brown. And then after Tyreek Hill, he has Adams, then Chubb. That's spice. That's a lot. That's got some spice. Barkley, Kelsey, Diggs, Hurts, Stevenson, Bijan, Amon-Ra. I think this is actually going to have a pretty big impact on Best Ball Mania 4. This is crazy. I can't wait to jump into a draft and see if people are actually using these. CeeDee Lamb. This is disrespect. This is true disrespect. He had more wide receiver 1 finishes than AJ Brown. He had more top 3 finishes, I believe. I'll double check that, but I believe he had more top 3 finishes than AJ Brown as well. Not just showing that he has a high floor, but he also has a high ceiling. And now you get rid of Dalton Schultz. Teams desperate in need for a red zone target. CeeDee Lamb is just going to consume more targets this year. You're going to see a lot of the same. You're going to see Dallas playing from behind. God forbid Dallas doesn't add another running back. Like, they're going to be throwing the ball more. Please, I really hope we see a CeeDee Lamb fall, because I could use some more Lamb in my future. Right here, Bijan behind Ramondre. I can't do it right now. I could see the reasoning for it, but like right now, where the Patriots could add Lenny, they could add another running back into this offense very easily. It would not surprise me at all. I would hesitate to put him in front of Bijan, where you can kind of certainly know that he's going to have an absolute enormous workload in a run-first offense, which the Patriots are too. Barkley ahead of Bijan. I've been joking about this, and people are like, no, it's like, we're hoping Bijan is Saquon Barkley. It's like, but you could get Barkley like 9 picks later. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So I have a very little amount of Bijan. I've been sprinkling him in when he falls to like 11 or 12. But yeah, I just much prefer those running backs at the 2-3 turn, or someone in the middle of the round like Chubb that goes to like 17 or 18 right now. And then you have Stevenson as well. But at his ADP, that's where I'm willing to draft him, because I still think there is a little bit of risk there. There definitely is a little bit of risk. Dennis, what's going on? How many hours were you live with Felix the other day? Felix doing a 25-hour live stream like a savage. Like an absolute savage. And if you guys haven't done it already, make sure you go down, drop a like on the video. just going to help us reach more people. It's going to be able to make that 1,000 subscriber goal hit. And along with that comes the 24-hour live stream. Garrett Wilson, Amon-Ra, like I can get on board with Amon-Ra sliding a little bit just because of like J-Mo's going to be back after week 7. What's his role going to be like during the fantasy football playoffs, right? He's not going to have as big of a target share after week 6. So he is steamed up a little bit right now. I still like him. It's Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's going to get a shit ton of targets this year. But Garrett Wilson right behind him. I'm cool with a strong stance on Devontae Adams. I'm not drafting Amon-Ra in front of Devontae Adams. I think that's ludicrous. So let's pull up some Underdog ADPs just to kind of see what those look like compared. And I mean, he's got Nick Chubb steamed up, and Nick Chubb's in line for a huge workload this year. But when Deshaun Watson was playing at the end of the season, Nick Chubb was not getting a lot of love. He was just not getting a lot of love. He had a huge game week 18. He was part of our Battle Royale winning lineup. So, I mean, I should be biased to like him, but the price is getting expensive. It's definitely getting expensive. I would rather shift in Best Ball Mania to Barkley, who's been falling, rather than Nick Chubb, who's been rising. So I have some Nick Chubb shares when BBM first opened, and I'm going to be making that slight switch to Barkley. Maybe it's like, are people still worried about him not playing? Is that the reason for this fall? Because I will assume that risk for a player that I believe has just as high of a ceiling as Nick Chubb a few picks later. And with the current like meta, right, of Nick Chubb rising and Barkley falling, you're getting a better price on Barkley than those early drafters could. So it gives you a slight advantage today on the risers and fallers list. If that matters to you, it definitely matters to me. So let's DNB, welcome to the live stream, and Shock Trauma 19, new faces. Love to see it, guys. Absolutely love to see that. And let's see. We are waiting for 10 people. We are waiting for 10 people. Best Ball Mania. If you want in, jump on in. We have tipped off the Discord members first, as always. And if you're interested in that, got to join the Patreon. You can join any tier. It gets you that. It gets you a whole lot more. I've just been adding stuff to the Patreon. We're waiting for 2 more members to get the Patreon Founders League off the ground, which will have prizes. Format still being discussed. Wow. Waiting on 4 people. It's been a while. It's been a minute since I've done a Best Ball Mania 4 draft, but we have been sharing our exposures with people in the Patreon as well. Now for the moment we've all been waiting for the listeners. Cheers. Waiting on one person, and we're probably going to pull the 102. So we'll just start prepping for that mentally. You really haven't seen Chase gain any ground on Jefferson, which is not surprising at all. Just based off like the week 17 matchups, Jefferson has a killer playoff schedule, but there was some hype. Chase over Jefferson. I'm still mixing it in. I want at least 7% Jefferson. If I get under 7%, I'd be kind of mad. But you can't always get what you want, especially when it comes to variance. We get the 109. Wishful thinking, 102. Wishful thinking. King of Kings is in this draft with us. That name looks familiar. Tim Roberts, that name looks familiar as well. Did we sneak in here with minimal pounders in this draft? Let me know if I didn't call it your name and you're in this draft. Let me know where you're drafting from. Frankie, what's going on, my man? Welcome to the live stream. Vape, I never get the 102. Who do you have? Yeah, you have to do a lot. Ghost, welcome to the live stream. Taking a break from drafting until the last preseason game, unless another $3-4 game comes up. I like that. I am nearing probably 550 drafts this season. 550. I got 50 on DK as well. Nick's at the 111. Let's peek the name. Because when the name, all right, cool. At least it's got Nick in it. It just makes it so much easier to identify you guys and remember the name as well. Let's pull this up. See what happens. That's crazy. I can't believe how much he has Nick Chubb steamed up. Hayden Winks, we went over his first 2 rounds, his rankings he dropped. He's got Nick Chubb at 8. Pick 8. Oh, shit. It's just wild. It just worries me. Like, I saw with my own eyes how they were using him at the end of the season. And I mean, was that just trying to get Deshaun Watson back in tune with the offense? Like after not playing for 11 weeks, like it could have been that. Are we sure? So M Hall's in here with us at the 103 goes Kelsey. And this is a Best Ball Mania 4 draft. And just a small note, right? That something that came to me the other day, like I've seen teams being posted on the Twitter machine and people are posting 1 QB teams. And that basically completely counts you out, in my opinion, for being paid out in the regular season prize. Completely counts you out. So I think that is a negative EV play in this style contest where it's still 1/3 of the prize pool. It's 33%. He goes Bijan at 8. I'm cool with getting Diggs at 9, to be honest. If I can get Josh Allen at 33, he would have to fall 5 spots, which really isn't ridiculous. It's just crazy, like where Barkley's going, even where Jonathan Taylor's going. These are just their top 3 RBs. It's going to be an interesting year. It's definitely going to be an interesting year. I think we're going to look back. I think what people are going to say is, why was I drafting Devonta Smith like in front of Patrick Mahomes or like Ramondre Stevenson here? Derrick Henry in Best Ball Mania 4 is definitely an interesting pick with the smash spot twice in the playoffs against Houston's poor run defense. Absolute piss poor. But on the contrary, where you have Dameon Pierce on the other side of the ball playing Tennessee in the number 1 run defense from last year twice, he could be a low advance rate play and might not have the fire to get you spiked into the lineup there. Double tap here with the Monron and Devonta Adams. And right here in this spot, like I can't go Jalen Waddle. I don't think there's a real benefit to going Barkley in this spot where I get Diggs falling a little bit. I think it's going to be slightly more unique, but it's not going to be unique at all because of just because of where these guys started in ADP. But let's mix Chubb in here because he could rise even more with Hayden Winks putting him at the 8 spot. Oh my God, that'd be brutal. Drew, thank you for signing up, my man. We are almost full. The Patreon League, Founders Pounders Redraft League has 1 spot open. So if you want to play in that this season, be grandfathered into the league as long as you're subscribed, got to join it now. You got to join it now. Link is in the description. I'm thinking either a big spoon trophy or a ring. Nice blinged out ring. And we'll have other prizes too. Still got to figure it out. It'll be good. Chubb and Diggs start. I've been in such a weekly mindset too. We see Josh Allen go at 23. So that dream's absolutely smashed. It was a nice thought, right? It was a nice thought. I can't get enough of these 3 QBs though in the 3rd round. And I think this is actually an interesting spot where these 3 QBs go off before ADP. To grab someone like Lamar at ADP, Breece Hall, Josh Allen, Jamar Chase. Like, I like that start a lot. Vape, I appreciate you, bro. Doing my job. Gently tap that like button. Just ever so softly, just press it. I like this start. He does get Devonta Smith at 27. What's Smith's ADP? Because I know it's 21. I like this start. Whew. Wow. Now, if T. Higgins is interesting too for that bring back here with Mahomes and Kelsey, I'm sure that might have crossed his mind as well for the bring back Week 17 matchup, Cincy versus KC. We got a 3 wide receiver start here with Cooper Kupp, Jalen Waddle, and Amari Cooper. This is fine. Like, I don't think Waddle should be going before these 3 running backs here, Chubb, Barkley, and Jonathan Taylor. We see a 3 running back start. Oh, man, I love that. Just please. All right, I got to do it. Man, I got to do it. He's already got a QB. If we go Mark Andrews, could we get Mark Andrews and Lamar? Lamar would have to fall to 40. He's already got a QB, so it would depend on these 2. I really want to pick DK here. I really want to pick DK. If we started with 2 wide receivers, I think we try that. We go Mark Andrews here and we try to get Lamar. But where we start with 1 running back and 1 receiver, we're going to really hurt ourselves if we don't get at least 1 receiver in this range, because we'd have to pick wide receiver here at 57, 64. And that is if this works, right? That's if this works. 57, 64, which is a fine range. It's a fine range. Falls off a little bit for sure. Like, I like to be picking 3 receivers in the first 4 rounds typically. But again, when you're going QB, when you're going tight end, you have to give up somewhere. Just personally, I'd rather that position be running back, just because the points you can get in the last round just with an injury. Yeah, this starts flames. It's absolutely flames. Chase, Allen, Breece, if Breece can get healthy. Okay, so if we went Mark Andrews, he was going to go a naked Lamar anyways, so our plan would have been ruined. So I'm glad we go with the falling DK there. And where DK fell in ADP, his starting ADP was 30. So we got him 3 picks after his starting ADP. And every other single receiver in the rankings for Best Ball Mania 4 has risen. Some around, some multiple rounds. So where he's pretty much stayed the same. He goes at 28 and he started at 30. I've been scooping more of DK. He's on the thumbnail. It's never a reason to draft someone. Christian Watson, welcome to the squad. This is pretty mean. This is a pretty mean start. Not going to lie. This is a pretty mean start. Maybe we bring in another Seattle pass catcher. We go after Geno here with this team. A lot we can do here. A lot we can do. Yeah, Drew called it too. You guys all called it. Yeah. So many other receivers on the board around him with injury concerns. Around DK. And I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. The Keenan Allen steam up's probably the craziest thing to me. I don't mind him for cash games. But when we're thinking about like single game ceiling, yes, week 18, he absolutely smashed last year, also in our battle royale lineup. But single game ceiling is not going to be as high as some of these other players going around him personally. They also bring in Quentin Johnston. And this is if Mike Williams is healthy. That's a huge if. It's a huge if. I get that. Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, Olave, and CMC. It's a nice start. Very nice start. But Joe Burrow at 45. I think if I'm this team, I'm risking it and I'm pushing Joe Burrow to 52. Just basically saying, hey, this guy's got 2 running backs. He likely can't go Burrow here. It'll be a naked Burrow too. These teams already have an elite QB. So I would push that pick to 52 personally. But if you're only doing a few of these, if you're only doing 10 or 20 and like you want that Joe Burrow squad, go ahead and get him. But we're maxing it out. So I am trying to create the strongest teams possible. A little more risk, I guess you could say. Nick says Mixon and Allen, my least favorite ADPs now. Josh Allen? No, can't be. Keenan Allen. That's right. We're just talking about Keenan Allen. Brain fart. 3 RBs, 1 receiver. I think there's a huge mistake there. Huge mistake. Madison at 52. Starting ADP was what, like 128? I don't love that. But it's good for us because we're likely not going receiver. Let's see what comes back to us, though. Let's see what comes back to us. Mike Williams, Justin Fields off the board. I like the Fields pick, dude. I like the Fields pick. Really do. He had 2 games over 40 points last year. That's more than Mahomes. That's more than Josh Allen. That's more than Jalen Hurts combined. We see Trevor Lawrence go off the board at 56. Just never doing that. Like never, ever, ever, never. Okay. I want one of these tight ends. I don't think I can guarantee one if I don't pick one now. Let's go Hawk. Let's bring in the Hawk. We get the Minnesota Green Bay correlation, little mini stack, week 17. Think that makes a ton of sense. Makes a ton of sense. Michael Pittman here has to go behind Burks. That has to happen. It's 3.5 picks away. It's still quite far. Dotson should be ahead of Addison. Pickens should be ahead of Tony. Gabe Davis should be ahead of Tony, in my opinion. Just some quick nuggets there. Yeah, I don't think Hawkinson would have made it back to us. So I think that was a good scoop. Again, these ADPs for these tight ends, Hawkinson, Kittle, they've fallen. They've fallen pretty far since the start of the big board. I think Kittle's fallen around 10 spots and Hawkinson's fallen around 8 or 9. Kittle may even be more. It might be like 11 or 12. So we are scooping these guys on the back end of Best Ball Mania. It's not really the back end. I guess it's the middle. Definitely the middle. Still early into the draft season, which is crazy. We probably have, man, how many do we think? If we did 3 a day on average, we'd have 180 drafts. Some days we're going to do more. Some days we're going to do less. Some days we're going to do 3 at a time. Like a sicko. This would strictly be because we would be targeting Geno Smith with this team. And where we don't have a ton of correlation, like sure, we can grab Cousins and KJ Osborne, but you could do the Pittsburgh mini stack here with Deontay Johnson. Let's do this. Let's see if Pickens comes back to us. He'd have to fall what? He'd have to fall 4 spots. So we'll test it. We'll try to get that Seattle bring back. Otherwise, we could go like a Warren at running back. But yeah, this team, we could definitely bring in like Love. We could bring in Geno Smith. We can go like Noah Fant at tight end. Or Luke Musgrave to pair with Hawkinson, which I think that'd be fun. Pickens is realistic. I like that. I try to be realistic, try to be realistic. Pat Smith says, I've enjoyed the weekly winners more and more, just different thought process. I've really been trying to work on changing people's thought process because when I first saw that tournament, I was like, dude, why would I do a $15 draft to try to win 20K against 261,000 teams when I could just do Battle Royale against 42,000 teams and win 25K, right? But it's really just understanding that a certain amount of teams are dead every single week. Even the starting weeks where there's no buys, there's dead teams. So you're not actually facing 261,000 teams, like teams that draft a lot of rookies, teams that draft like Kamara or JMO, people that are suspended or start the season hurt, people that are just bad drafters in general. What percent of people are bad drafters? Like you have to take that into account. People that are selecting an elite QB and then selecting a middle round QB and then a late round QB. That's 3 QBs instead of building around one, where if that one QB hits, you want to have the most amount of positional players around them. So there's a lot of dead teams. So yes, big tournament, not that much for first, but I still think it's a plus EV tournament. And it gives us something to make content on, and it's like unsolved, right? So if you think you have a small edge, which I think we have bigger than a small edge, it'll be fun. It'll be fun to see. It'll definitely be fun to see the first year new tournament. No Cat Mac, what's going on, my dude? Hey, what up? First time here. How'd the draft's been going? Oh, this one's going well so far. And most of them, I mean, it's very few times that I think my teams are dog at the end of it. It happens every now and then, but oh, Pickens 2 picks short. There goes our bring back for that game. I have ideas though. I'm getting ideas. Let's bring in Deshaun Watson here. Six picks away. And we just got to pray we don't get sniped on Elijah Moore. Just got to pray. That's all. That's all. Yeah, 17 chances with that single lineup to make money. If you're a good drafter and you're taking, oh God, he's the last receiver on the board. This guy needs RBs though. This is a great spot to double tap RB. Montgomery and Connor. Easy. Easy money. 2 QBs. I don't love it, but if he goes 2 RBs here, I would start to like his team more. Okay. If Elijah Moore goes, yeah, I was going to say we'll go Connor. All right, so we pivot and it works. We get some correlation with Elijah Moore, Deshaun Watson, and Nick Chubb as well. So we're sort of making a bet on this offense anyways with the Nick Chubb pick. He goes, this man is good, y'all. This man, it's not my first time. It's not my first time. Where's our next pick? Start planning the next pick. 105. So I like to just give a quick look to that range, sort of see what I'll be dealing with, see where my next pick is too at 112. We're going to hope we get Geno with that pick, but let's see the teams after us. This team's got JSN, but he has 2 elite QBs. We have the other 2 Seattle pass catchers. So realistically, in a perfect world, in a world that makes sense, and my world in my head that I'm thinking of makes sense, we should be able to get Geno here at 112. With 2 of the 3 pass catchers, this guy that has the 3rd pass catcher has 2 elite QBs. That's just the plan. You gotta zig and zag sometimes. You gotta zig and zag. And I'd be happy with just Deshaun and Geno Smith. Geno Smith, what? By 9? Oh, he's got by 5. I don't love that. I definitely don't love that. We would probably do a last round QB. Like Ryan Tannehill or something, who we can at least kind of assume he'll still be playing by week 5. before Levis. Maybe he gets his chance. Could also go Jimmy G. We'll see. We'll see what we get. It would just be a rent. I really do think you're giving up cashing in the regular season prize if you have a double bye week at QB. I don't think it's a huge deal at tight end. If you have 2 tight ends, because how many points are you giving up? Like maybe 4 to 10 in a bye week that maybe the tight end scores 0 when Hawkinson's out. So there's always that chance too. So I'd rather take that shot at tight end than QB, where you're giving up at least 12 points. 12 to 18. I think that's pretty safe to say. And this is the range where we like to click tight ends and running backs. And look what's there. Look what's there. And look what's going off the board. Dear Lord, baby Jesus, 6 ounce, 5 pound baby Jesus, please do not snipe us. Oh, we get Dylan. All right, so we get a little Green Bay correlation. Maybe we go Jordan Love instead. We would be able to stop at 2 QBs too. Let's just think about this. I'm not opposed to going Daniel Jones just completely out of the blue too. Late pass catchers you can catch up on. He plays the Rams week 17. We don't have correlation with that game. Let's peek this. Do bop bop. We could get like a late McCole Hardman too for the Browns Jets matchup. I hate this range for receivers. And that's why I'm glad we have 5 solid receivers here. Sure, we could go Antonio Gibson. I like the Damian Harris pick as well. I think Gibson might be a little too steamed up at 99, but if we can get him at 112, I think it makes a lot of sense. My Gibson shares is still like 16, 17% for Best Ball Mania, but that ADP was so early. So early. We have 2 pass catchers on Seattle. I think we already made the bet, and we sort of have to do this anyways. I want to stop at 2 QBs. And Daniel Jones is someone that I don't want to super stack anyway, so I'll probably just end up grabbing one of his pass catchers, make a bet on one of them. Because if you look at the games that he spiked last year for over 30 points, he did it on the ground mostly. There was one game he had a decent amount of passing yards, but after that, it was like 197 for one of those games. I just think he's such a value. And he has that spike potential, rushing floor, rushing ceiling, and Deshaun Watson's supposed to have the same. So I think this is a pretty cool pairing. Pretty damn balanced. We do have to catch up a little bit at RB. 13 picks away. We're looking at pick 129 and 136. All right. It's going to work. You have to believe. Drew says, I had a situation like this with Dak where I had CD and Cooks, and the guy in front of me who had no Cowboys or correlation took him. It's so much pain. If Geno Smith comes back to us, which he very well could, who's going to go in naked Geno? You know what I mean? It would likely be too much capital at QB, and you're likely sacrificing like the week 17 dream, which I don't think makes a lot of sense. So we're just going to Okay, good. Dice Man just X's that plan out for us. I think it's interesting for regular season prize, though. If you're then able to smash on some running back picks, and then like we could last pick a tight end and be fine here. And we're like pretty solid at receivers. So if we could pick out like 2 more receivers out of the weeds that have good floors, good ceilings, which I have plenty of picks in here left over. So I think that would be at least interesting, but probably stupid. Nico Collins going at pick 121. He's got to be going earlier, to be honest. He should be in front of Zay Jones. He should probably be in front of Tyler Boyd. Not in front of AJ Dillon. But in that range, like 105. You'll probably see him rise more too this offseason. Being the number 1 target so far in OTAs. Berg, I'm not doing any drafters, but if there's going to be overlay, and if you guys don't know what overlay is, it's basically just like a tournament that doesn't fill, but they are still paying out the same amount. If there's going to be an overlay, you're basically just getting plus EV. I would throw some drafts in if it doesn't fill. And dude, DK, Underdog, they just keep throwing out different style drafts. Like DK just threw out another $9 3 max entry. Like I love that. And other people with small bankroll should love that too. Where were we going? Yeah, we're going Jaylen Warren for the Seattle-Pittsburgh bring back. Yeah. Had to think about it. That's exactly what we're doing. Van Jeffy off the board. Okay. Interesting. 9 picks before ADP. He's been steamed up, but I can kind of understand it. We could always get like a late bring back for the Giants as well with like Puka, Pika. Juju falling at 131. Honestly, this is a better range for him. So maybe this is a sharper type room. I just can't like do with these 3 straight RBs in this range. Like this team has 2 receivers, man. He's got 2 receivers. It's round 12. It's round 12. He's got 5 running backs, 3 QBs. I'm so glad we have our 2 QBs. That just helps our chances of advancing so much. And we got them at pretty good spots, like pretty good prices where these teams reached on these 3 elites. Just too nice. It's too nice. Give me Kendra here. Not even going to think about it. Don't even think about it. Just do it. Don't even think about it. We're going to go Kendra here. I like the Tank Bigsby pick. Kendra, Algier, Rashawn Johnson even, and give me like Tajay Spears late too. These are players that just have so much opportunity to get steamed up during the preseason, whether it's like good or not. They're players that can rise with very little positive information. Like one positive beat reporter post, like, oh, he caught the ball. It'll be like a 3-yard gain. They will leave that part out. Great catch. No one defending him. That day that post is out, like someone will reach like 20 picks. And it'll happen in every room. So I think those 3 rookies have really good opportunity to rise right now at this point in Best Ball Mania. Definitely been targeting them, but I'm not like, you can see the way I'm building my team. Like I have for sure carries with Nick Chubb, with AJ Dillon, with Jaylen Warren, who still has a change of pace back roll. And he was starting to eat into a little bit of third down work. And then now I'm adding a rookie in. Now I'm going to add probably a second rookie in. But I'm not going for these guys and then having like Jahmyr Gibbs on top of it, because I think roster construction definitely matters. Liking the lineup, no Geno, but Dining Dimes is great for some back stacks. Yeah, it's super easy to get correlation on the back end. And my receiver that I'm drafting the most probably is going to be Isaiah Hodgins over Paris Campbell. They're just trying to like find a way to give the ball to Paris Campbell right now. It's not necessarily a great thing, but Darius Slayton, like he's the highest paid wide receiver on the team. So he's been such an easy click for me. And my exposure to Darius Slayton's, it's high. It's freaking high. Let's pull this up real quick because now I'm curious. Post NFL draft, 295 drafts. Oh yeah, so we're definitely north. We're definitely north of 500 drafts right now. Gross, sicko, gross. We're sitting at 9%, so it's actually not as high as I thought. But it's kind of a tough receiving room to go all in on one guy. It's not really a receiver room that like I would want multiple too. I really think like Darren Waller is going to be the alpha there if he stays healthy. And if he does, I mean, he's going to take a lot of that slot work. Okay. We can go Rashawn Johnson here. Take another shot on a rookie running back. Like Alec Pierce. Let's see. We're up in how many picks? We're at 160 and then 177. Let's go Rashawn Johnson here. Now we've used like a good amount of capital at running back. Like I'm going to stop probably until the last pick of the draft. This next pick's going to be a receiver. Rashawn Johnson's another one though. Like he should be taking over the third down role pretty quickly into the start of the season. But guys, we have 46 people in here. Drop a like if you guys are enjoying the stream. Subscribe if you enjoy best ball and fantasy football content. And hit the bell for notifications so you can jump into these live drafts with us. Let's go. M. Hall's in the live stream. He has Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, Devonta Smith for a start, which is sick. ETN, DJ Moore, Jordan Addison, Pierce, Dalvin Cook, A-Rich, Odell, Elijah Mitchell, Rashee Rice, Cole Kmet. Super balanced squad. The A-Rich with Patrick Mahomes. Definitely interesting. You're definitely providing yourself with someone that can spike ahead of Patrick Mahomes, which I like. Like if you pair Patrick Mahomes with like Aaron Rodgers, like how many times will Aaron Rodgers score enough points to spike ahead of Patrick Mahomes? Not a lot. Like you're probably doing that just for a little bit of correlation if you have it and for Patrick Mahomes bye week. But with A-Rich, with his unknown rushing ceiling, we'll call it, he potentially could spike ahead of Mahomes any week. Purdy at 158. Hot take by Nick Bach here. And I'm here for it. We get Alec Pierce to fall back to us. Let's ponder. Let's take a 2-second ponder here. All right, we're done pondering. 9 picks after ADP. Alec Pierce, welcome to the team. I also like the Rashid Shaheed pick, Tyquan Thornton, even DPJ. We could have gone for the correlation, but 9 picks after ADP, Alec Pierce. Come on. We can go a late Cedric Tillman to bring in a second pass catcher with Cleveland and Deshaun Watson. Someone that I think might be able to eat into DPJ's role by the end of the season, and he'll cost an 18th round pick, so not a lot. Not a lot. Let's pull this up. Port off the board at 163. Let's see how Nick Bach's doing here. He started just straight pissing. Lamb, Garrett Wilson, Debo, pretty sick start. Gibbs, Kittle, Chris Godwin, Quentin Johnson. So he does get the double in San Fran. We saw that Purdy reach. Quentin Johnson, Isaiah Pacheco, David Njoku, Antonio Gibson, and this was like 11 picks after ADP. But he's been a riser in Best Ball Mania, so it's still nice. Still nice. Juju, Aaron Rodgers, Mingo, and Brock Purdy. We see the Juju pick 20 picks after ADP too. So definitely been scoop and some value. Nick has his huge wooden spoon out. Huge wooden spoon out. Just scooping. Just scooping. Really nice. Really nice. You know who's getting steamed up right now is Blackshear, the third string running back in Carolina. Don't love that. Don't love that. Might be able to eat into some of the red zone work. We'll see. We'll see. Juwan Johnson going off at pick 169. Kirk Cousins, Kyler Murray. RBs are good. And receiving core is good. This team's pretty well balanced as well. Jay Hill. Getting another draft in. How many likes are we at? Maybe we will get another draft in. 34 likes. You guys are absolutely smashing it. I think my wife will kill me. I did tell her it's a single. I have to stick to my word. It's a single. We did do a draft last night, though, a 2-hour stream last night. It was a weekly contest, and we did a strategy that I don't think a lot of people are doing. Not a lot of people are talking about it. So if you want to go watch that video after this one, I'd highly recommend it. If you guys are drafting the weekly winners and you want a strategy that is at least focused on winning. Dude, this team I can't take serious. Has 4 receivers. The draft is about to end. Bro, Ron, get in the live stream. We'll set you straight. We see Taekwon go here at 175. That's going to be way after ADP. 7 picks after ADP, but he started Best Ball Mania at like 189. So he's been steamed up. We do get Isaiah Hodgins to drop to us. Let's peek this real quick. Let's peek behind the curtains. Let's peek behind the curtains here. I'm going Tim Patrick. I still think he has room to rise. He's risen like 12 spots in the last 10 days. And he still has some room. We'll see how much people like the Giants wide receivers. But again, there is Slayton too that I can go after this. Little risk reward. And it's not the end of the world if we get a naked Daniel Jones, but I think you do want one pass catcher if you were able to steam this lineup all the way through to the finals where you're playing against 441 teams. You're going to want one pass catcher because that QB is going to have to go off. We could go Wandale too. Where did Slayton go? Did I completely miss the Slayton pick? No, he's on the board. I'm probably just blind. Slayton at 202. We could push it one more to here. I'd be cool with that as well because I really do want to get a running back in this range. I wanted Jeff Wilson or Gus Edwards or the 2 I was staring at. God damn you guys. Those are back-to-back good picks in my opinion. We're going to go Conklin for the Jets Cleveland bring back. I think that's another sharp pick here. A little pivot here from what we planned on doing. A little pivot, but it's a bring back in our week 17 main stack. So I think it makes a lot of sense. We got some best ball guys in this draft. Just some best ball guys. Love to see that. We need to end this draft with a running back and a receiver. We're praying one of these Giants guys make it back to us. Like Wandale falls all the time. Slayton falls all the time. We need one more running back. This could we go? Here's the thing. Like, if I don't go Tim Patrick, I wanted Jeff Wilson there. I feel so much better about this team if I get Jeff Wilson. So nice pick, Nick. Really nice pick. I feel really good about like my RB room if we get Jeff Wilson. It's funny how that happens. How like quick you're like, all right, this is gonna be fine to like, dog ass. But it's cool. It's cool. It still works. It still works. Surprise stream tonight. Wasn't gonna go on. We were on last night, but we did it for the people. We did it for the people. People sleeping on Mr. Unlimited. Love that. Thoughts on Malik Davis right now? He's the RB2 for whatever that means. Let's go, Jeremy. Just got done cashing a poker tournament, second day in a row, and now time to draft. Where do you play poker on? I was an OG on party poker. Way back. May have been underage. May have been underage. Not conclusive. Not conclusive. DGen. I'll trade you teams. 50% stake for $100. Just kidding. Jonathan, welcome to the live stream. Just catching up on these. Pierce is my highest own. Welcome to the club, my friend. He's not anymore, but on the big board, I was definitely steaming him up. I was steaming up Taekwon Thornton big time. And now we're Thornton raised up. Like, we're mixing them in. I just think there's a little more risk. Both the Giants receivers go off the board. I really wanted the Wandale pick, to be honest. Who's on the board for receivers? We can go a bring back for the Giants game with like Puka Nakua. How the hell do you say this name? But we definitely need an RB. And who I'd prefer right now, I will tell you right after these guys pick. Because my luck, they're probably in this stream just staring at my Q log, just causing me max pain. Let's go. Can't wait. My big $500 buy-in leagues doing a poker tournament this year to determine the draft order. That's sick. That's sick. Bring your solver with you, Nick. Bring your solver with you. It would be like a solver would be completely useless against people that don't play poker. That's the funny part. It would just do nothing. Pierre Strong, Zamir White. Let's go Pierre Strong. Let's bring in Pierre Strong. Have been trying to get the Pierre Strong ownership up a little bit. I think we're at like 14% right now, but we're 89 drafts in for Best Ball Mania. I could easily pivot and not draft him a single time. Dude, there's no way, right? There's no way. This guy doesn't even have Staffy. Just a random. I just keep getting sniped. The Eric Gray pick, I think that's sharp as well. But is it Matt Breida? Like, you can't count Matt Breida out. And honestly, he's a spike week guy. So if like Saquon were to go down, I would probably prefer Breida, who would take over first and second down. And Eric Gray would likely be the third down guy. Fuck, dude. Dude, seriously? We've gotten sniped so much in this draft. I wanted the Hardman pick. We said that a lot earlier into the night. Dude, do we just go a Robert Woods here and just Tutu Atwell's kind of going undrafted. Mac Hollins, he's not a bad one to mix in. Russell Gage isn't a bad one, but like, how's Russell Gage going to spike into this lineup? F it. We're going RB. That's where the upside is. We have plenty of spike week guys at receiver. And if Elijah Moore can have a good year this year, we should be fine with this team. I just don't think that like Robert Woods is going to be like the piece you need. I don't see it. I don't think any of these guys really are going to be the piece you need. Cedric Tillman would have been a good click. It was Cedric Tillman or another running back. And we know these running backs are just one injury away from having a freaking pretty good role. Now, Israel Abanikanda needs a little more than that. He has to fight through Michael Carter, Zonovan Knight. So Zamir White's a nice click. Like I like Joshua Kelly as well. Joshua Kelly probably would have been the smarter pick for this team. Going to have a weekly role regardless of an injury. And we probably needed those guaranteed touches for this team. But this is definitely the upside pick. And there's Israel Abanikanda, someone that can just break for a long run and have a nice spike week. Absolute spaz click, but we got sniped so much at the end here. Jeff Wilson and Gus Edwards, we want Puka. Call him Puke. Even with our pass catchers with the Giants, like Wandale and Darius Slayton, we pushed them, but I don't mind pushing lineups because when it works, like you end up with a masterpiece. It still turned out fine. Cleveland double with the Conklin bring back for the Jets game. We got a little mini here with Green Bay and Minnesota. We got a couple other minis. It would have been nice to get I think that would have been a smart pick. Kelly would have had another little mini with Denver as well. All right. Well, let's cover how Hall finished his draft. After Mitchell, he went Rice, Cole Kmet, Ford, DPJ, Jalen Hyatt, Terrace Marshall, and Johnny Woods to go with Anthony Richardson. I think that's smart. And the 111, Nick Bach, Njoku, Gibson, Juju, Aaron Rodgers, Mingo, Purdy. So Purdy with that double stack. Gainwell, Jeff Wilson, Zeke, and McCole Hardman. Let me pull that team up here so I can see it better. Does Zeke do anything for this lineup? 26 picks after ADP. Can't really complain, I guess, about that. 2 tight ends, super strong. Receiver room's pretty friggin' strong as well. 20 picks after ADP, which is always nice. 15 picks after ADP. Even 6 picks after ADP on Godwin's pretty damn nice. So I like Nick's team a lot. It's gonna depend on Brock Purdy. I don't know about like the spike potential for QBs is probably not like the most sexy. Like when we think about advancing from week 15 to week 16 and how it's 1 out of 16, and then again from week 16 to week 17, it's 1 out of 16 again. I just want a little higher ceiling at QB or one more guy that can, spike up for 25. Like even like Tannehill, like a naked Tannehill, I don't even mind. Instead of maybe your last pick of whoever the last pick was, either Zeke or McCole Hardman. Get rid of one of those guys and give me Tannehill, a third QB for this team. But nice draft. Definitely a nice team. I think that was it. I think those are the 2 people that were in this draft with us. I think everyone drafted pretty damn well, though. Always fun. Always interesting to see what people are doing with their teams. We're going to end it here. I appreciate everyone coming out. Appreciate you guys slapping the shit out of that like button. We're going to be back live again tomorrow. And we're going to do another Best Ball Mania draft. And I think it's such a good time to sneak just a couple of your BBM 4s. If you've taken a break like I have, we're in an information lull, but everyone's switched over to go into weeklies. And where they're doing weeklies, you're getting newer players jumping into the Best Ball Mania 4s. All the big brains are doing weeklies right now. So sneak in a Best Ball Mania 4, see how the room is. There's like 2 or 3 dead teams in that draft we just did. Completely dead. So I think it's not a bad time to get some of those exposures into the weeklies. Free agency are big until they get sniped. Like there could be information about free agents right now, but we are just waiting. Basically, you're in an information lull where you're not getting any updates. Yeah, are there some ADPs that still need to be adjusted? I think so. Like I think Tim Patrick has to spike up a little bit. Nico Collins probably has like 20 picks of ADP value right now, in my opinion. So we're trying to get our Nico Collins stash up. There's a few players in there that definitely you can get some shares of, and you can feel good about it that they're going to be risers. And that's what I try to target in these drafts right now. Who's going to rise in the months of July and August? Who's going to fall? Where was their starting ADP? And then on top of that, we're correlating, we're stacking, double stacking, bring back in all that good stuff. KLP, I appreciate you guys. Have a good night. Slap the like on the way out. Drop a comment on the video. I don't know. What do I got to do to get some comment? I never asked for comments. Is that my problem? Maybe I just never asked for comments. Drop a comment, make it funny. I'll respond. Pounders.